Use the link in the description for a special discount on ExpressVPN, which directly supports me. Pavlov is a game I'm sure most of you have heard of. It's up there as one of the great multiplayer games for VR that everybody can enjoy. It has some of the best feeling guns I've ever held in VR. It's home to some of the most creative and funny game modes, and hey, it's super accessible because it's free, meaning you, dear viewer, could open up your Quest 2 and play the game within the hour at no cost. It's great. Well, actually, how great is it really? You see, Pavlov has a problem. Actually, it's not just Pavlov that has a problem. Most every multiplayer game for VR has this problem. Community. Let me explain. If you've ever played VR chat, you know how much of a double-edged sword it can really be. It's a game that can be loads of fun. You can hop on for an hour or two and meet some of the funniest people in your life and do the funniest shit together. It's great. I've had countless experiences in VR chat I genuinely wish I could go back and revisit because of how genuinely happy I was. It's great, it's funny, it shows you how truly great VR is, but if you've played VR chat, you may know this is only half of the story. You see, while VR chat can give you some of the best experiences, those experiences happen about 5% of the time, because the other 95%, sadly, is accessible, to put it lightly. I rarely go on VR chat for fun anymore because of this. The only time I've really played the game in the past 6 months, which was to record the spider layer video, which was good. Why is VR chat such a cesspool though? I've only said it is, but I haven't told you how. It all has to do with one thing: community. Community is what drives multiplayer games, and with VR chat quite literally being a game where you socialize, if the community of that game sucks, that defeats the whole purpose of the game. That is quite literally the sole purpose of the game, and having it be bad completely ruins the experience. I have so many problems with this community, it's insane. First of all, I want to preface, there are good people, there are funny people, but I'm strictly talking about the people that make the game worse for others, and sadly, it doesn't look like it's a case of the loud minority, rather the loud majority. I don't know how to say this without sounding like your average Redditor who goes, "Ugh, I hate this woman," but there is a legitimate problem when it comes to, let's just say suggestive avatars in VR chat, to put it lightly. They are insanely rampant, and the fact I don't even have to look for them either is really worrying. I ran a test by going into a completely random server that seemed innocent, being the spider layer from my previous video, and lo and behold, not 5 minutes in, I found one. And I get that people don't like kids in VR games, but the truth is, there will always be plenty of kids in the game, and while I won't necessarily defend them for playing these games, what I will condemn is people who go into a world that's target demographic is kids and have the most suggestive, I'm saying suggestive as a very loose term here, I can't say the word suggestive, guys, I'm really fucking sorry. The most suggestive avatar ever, tits out and all. Remember the big scandal Roblox had with its suggestive content? Dude, I'm sorry. Remember the big scandal Roblox had with suggestive content? That is cranked to 11 here because there is so little quality control and filtering when it comes to avatars that if a kid came into a seemingly innocent VR chat world, sooner or later, they will find something that they should not be seeing. Avatars aren't the only problem. You can spot people doing the most degenerate shit ever. Super publicly too. It's so ridiculous. Anyways, I know I'm starting to get off topic with this rant, so let me wrap back to Pavlov. How does this relate to Pavlov? Well, Pavlov isn't like VR chat, it's a shooter. The thing about it though, is the main gimmick of the game, is proximity chat. In a game on team deathmatch or gun game, etc., you can talk to people around you and it leads to pretty cool experiences. The most popular game mode on Pavlov by far, surprisingly, is the least shooter game mode in this game. It's a game called TTT, directly based off of Gmod's popular game mode, Trouble in Terrorist Town. The premise of the game is simple. You start off in a confined map with around 10 people. You can group up with people, be a lone wolf, and go alone solo or whatnot. However, among you lies 2 to 3 traitors. People who are hidden in plain sight whose goal is to kill everyone. The catch is, you don't know who they are. I hate to use this example, but it's so popular I literally can't fucking ignore it. It's like Among Us, with no kill cooldown and proximity chat. That's basically it. Also, innocents can kill anyone, meaning an innocent can kill another innocent out of suspicion and end up looking like the traitor themselves and getting themselves killed. That's the gist, you get it, yada yada, whatever. It's that in VR, and it's a load of fun. That on top of the near perfect guns that Pavlov houses, you have a recipe for success. But little thing you should know, you could play this game without voice chat, but that defeats the entire purpose of the game itself, so naturally, you're going to crank that Johns up. And just like VR chat, 10% of the matches are great, while the other house some of the most annoying people to grace this planet. Who are these people? Children. You see, while VR chat was awful sometimes, it was more controlled, if that makes sense. The demographic of the game is teens and adults, meaning there aren't an insane amount of kids and more respectable people. Pavlov, however, is a shooter. Who likes shooters? Kids and edgy teens. I think you see where this is going. Not to mention Pavlov specifically is often played by more quote-unquote edgier YouTubers, or YouTubers that cater more towards kids. Swagger Souls, Eddie VR, and whatnot. Let me just preface, nothing against them, they're chill, don't harass them or anything like that. It's just I thought I would make it clear that they do in fact drive a good amount of players to this game. So, how does the community ruin Pavlov? After this video, I want you all to try something. Load up Pavlov's Shack. Go into a TTT match, start a timer, and see how long it takes until a little kid says the hard R repeatedly on the mic. I did this, and do you want to know what the timer ended at? 7 minutes. 7 minutes of normal gameplay on a randomly picked server of OG containers until a little kid was spamming the hard R over and over on the in-game walkie-talkie. Now, there's actually a way to deal with this, as Pavlov specifically has a vote to kick option, where if a majority of players choose so, a certain person can be removed from the lobby. So, why am I talking about it? I mean, it's a good thing, right? Well, yes, in theory. In practice, however, it doesn't work, as many of these prepubescent titty milk enjoyers think alike. Which, guess what that means? If you even think about kicking a person, not only will the action of the person be encouraged by everyone else in the lobby, 9 times out of 10, this will end in you yourself being targeted. And I'm not saying this always happens. My Pavlov experience could differ from your Pavlov experience. However, due to how common of an occurrence it's become from my experience, I can't imagine a lot of you watching have too much of a different experience from mine. I find it almost funny, as the little kids almost have a hive mind-like feeling with their jokes. It's always a string of hard R, or the classic, I hate you know what. I could make this a personal rant on how terribly unfunny this type of humor is, but at that point it would be more of an opinionated video rather than a subjective one. While humor is subjective at the end of the day, I hope people know that saying a slur with no build-up or punchline, it just isn't funny. I hate to be the joke police, but if all your jokes rely on a slur funny and you get slack for it, I don't think it's a problem with other people being snowflakes or easily offended. I think it's honestly just a you problem with not knowing how to use over 3 brain cells to articulate a single joke that isn't just shouting the hard R. Now, it's not even just racism spewed out of these little kids' mouths. Oh no, they don't discriminate. If you even have a hint of homosexuality on your body, get ready for a really, really fun ride. While racism is one of the most common use of slur funny, when the well runs dry, you best believe these little snot goblins dig down even deeper into the minds of homophobia and transphobia. If you think kids saying the hard R is bad, just wait, because they don't just call these people faggots, they get personally invested on making sure that everybody in the lobby knows that these people are going to hell. With the racist kids, they usually just go to the extent of saying the hard R, but when a gay or trans person is brought into the mix, oh boy, it turns into the fucking wild, wild west. It turns into a low-tier god speech in the lobby. If they were in that casual racism shit before, best believe they're on the competitive homophobia now. I've heard the most deplorable shit said about these people from kids that sound like they haven't even spewed an inch of pre-cum out of their cocks. It's insane. I myself don't get, like, personally stricken by these comments or anything. I'll ever feel the need to do anything about it or leave the game. But holy fuck. Literally today, as of writing the script, I had the most foul shit said about LGBT people for over 10 minutes that it was legitimately so mind-numbingly annoying, I had to take off the headset and just cool down for a few minutes. Also, I thought I'd point it out, yes, I'm bisexual. I'm more qualified than any to talk on the behalf of the faggot union. Now, while personally degenerate comments like these don't really deter me from playing the game, I can say for a fact that people like this are the brick wall keeping a good majority of people from getting into VR. Because the reality is, if you're not a straight white male, you will hear the worst shit being said about what or who you are. And it's genuinely demotivating hearing this and being able to continue playing the game. VR is supposed to be an escape, a way to have fun without thinking about real life shit. So getting into a game and hearing stuff like this said may just be what causes someone to take off their headset for the last time. Because the fact is, VR is way too small for shit like this to be happening. While this isn't the underlying message I'm trying to preach at heart, I have to acknowledge that people doing stuff like this push away a large amount of people away from an already, admittedly small community. I have about 100 to 200 hours of Pavlov logged on. Despite what I've said, it's one of my favorite VR games. I've wanted to make a video on this game for about 5 times now, but the editing process would literally take so long because finding salvageable clips for this game would take way too long to do. So I'm just not doing it. This is the Pavlov video. That and because of recording on standalone quests just fucking sucks. Meta, fix your shit. So to wrap up this video, just stop. If you're guilty of being a little ass kid with these one-note jokes, take a second to actually think about what the fuck you're saying and how you're gonna make the game you love die so much faster because of how much you drive a large audience of people away. I don't have much more to say, so hope you all enjoyed this video, and goodbye. I know it was a bit of a departure from my usual shit. This isn't gonna be all that I make, but honestly this is something that I've been really passionate about for a long while, and I honestly just needed an excuse to talk about this game and the problem that VR as a whole faces. So, with that shit out of the way, subscribe, like, suck my dick. I don't know. You know, you could also, you know, look at that little link in the description for ExpressVPN, where you can get a really good discount for 12 months plus an extra 3 if you use this little discount. Yeah, only $7 a month actually for a really good VPN, and you know, it directly supports me. It'll help me get some shit I need. So why don't you just go over there real quick? Anyways, enough of the bullshit. Bye bye. I'll see you in the next one.